First up is Elio, which is the latest original film from Pixar. It is about a little boy called Elio Solis. He is alien and space obsessed and wants to get abducted and actually manages to do so. And the folks who abduct him are this group of, united planetary fronts. They're a bunch of aliens. It's very fun designs. And they are, a peaceful group, and they have to navigate these politics. And Elio somehow gets deemed leader of Earth, and so he has to get involved in that. Really what this film is actually about is childhood friendship and wanting to be accepted for who you are and all these things. I will caveat both films I'm reviewing this week, especially with animation films. I know people who work on these, so I sometimes know more information about the projects and the backgrounds and the iterations it goes through. So I am coming from a slightly different perspective than other people. Also, again, friends, family, etc., whoever are working on them. And so, of course, I want to root for them. And I want to be very clear. There's no reason not to see Elio. It's a cute story. For me, I think the challenge is, and this is the same challenge that a lot of the more recent, especially Pixar films have had, is that, look, when you are going up against a studio that has such an excellent track record, it is hard to rise, in quotes, above and beyond because they set the standard for it, right? I think if this film had been done by another studio or this film had come out a while ago, we would have been like, oh my God, it's so original and new and great. It's solid, for sure. Again, there's not a particular reason not to see the film. I think we've all just come to expect, this level of elite storytelling from Pixar that is close here, but not quite there. And you can see the moments where it's flirting with it, but you can also see the moments where they're trying to reach for maybe a deeper theme, or there was some other storyline that got cut. Zoe Saldana plays Elio's aunt, who's in the military and is his primary caretaker and all this stuff. And there's a bunch of things about her character and their relationship together that, you can tell that they're starting to explore and then they kind of reel back from. Like, I feel like Elio is never willing to quite fully go there. And so for that, it's not going to be one of the ones I think that will be in the pantheon of like the top films of all time. I think this film certainly has an audience. If you're looking at other films to compare it to, I think Luca is a really good example, because Luca for me was a film that did such a good job of capturing the authenticity and the joy of childhood. And this one it has joy in it, but it is about, seeking belonging. Luca is about like friendship, also seeking belonging, and self-discovery. So actually, yeah, these are very similar. But, Luca is one where you're like, this is super cute. It's solid. I think like, especially the kid voice actors do a really good job. Elio is cute, but there's this character called Glorden who I'm obsessed with. I think he is the funniest part of the film. He's one of the little alien kids and he's just delightful. So Luca, I think, is a kindred spirit to Elio in many senses. There are parts of this film where I'm like, I see the film that this could have been. And because I see the film this could have been, I'm a little, just a tiny bit sad at what this current film is. That doesn't mean the current film is terrible, but I think there's a world, a galaxy, a universe in which this could have gone very far above and beyond, but it's still super solid. The animation is fun. It's breezy. It moves along. If you have kids, they're going to have a good time. As an adult, you're also going to have a good time. It's not going to shift the way you think about things as a person. I always cite Inside Out as this changed the way I feel like people were able to communicate about their emotions. This is not going to be that, and that's okay. Not everything could be that. The first and third acts are pretty strong. The middle will get a little mushy, and if you're thinking about taking people who have really short attention spans, you just expect maybe some squirming there, but it's still worth seeing. I'm going to give this a 3.9 out of 5. The other film I have this week, also animated, and I also have to caveat, I know a fair amount about the production and the folks who worked on it, etc. So take everything with a grain of salt, but it is called KPop Demon Hunters, and it is exactly what the title says. It's about this trio of women who happen to be K-pop idols who fight demons through the power of music. And I know this sounds absurd, but this movie is really fun. Every song is amazing in it. I am not someone who listens to K-pop music. I admit I watch a decent number of Korean dramas, not as much as other folks, but if Netflix is going, hey, you might like this one, there's a good chance I'm watching it. So you don't have to know anything about, modern Korean media culture, especially in order to appreciate this film. If you do have any ins into that, this is definitely going to hit really hard for you, but I want to be very clear. You don't have to have any affinity for this. You don't have to know a single thing about it. So again, it's about a musical trio who are in a band, it's a fake band obviously, called Huntrix. They're voiced by Arden Cho, Mei Hong, and Ji Young Yu, and then they are facing off against these demons who are trying to eat the souls souls of humans, as demons do, and so when demon hunters sing, and I guess there's been generations of them, it reinforces this protective layer on the earth that protects from demons. I'm like, okay, whatever. This is ridiculous, but I also very much enjoy this concept. And then the demons get creative in how they're trying to infiltrate the earth. And like I said, the music in this is so earwormy. It will get stuck in your head. I've had it stuck in my head since I saw this film. The animation style is really fun. It's beautiful. At times it is lit like a Korean drama, but it is also very clever. The action is fun. And then there are these exaggerated moments that are so hyper stylized that pop out that are so ridiculous and fun. And I laughed so hard. And I'm talking about them as if they are, real characters. And obviously they are in some senses, but I'm like, oh, the dynamic between the main three girls is so real. If you have if you're in any sort of group friendship and you have groups of friends, you will recognize how things ebb and flow and you kind of keep each other in checks and balances. And yeah, it's a really fun film. And like Elio, it is original, and it is so nice to see two original animated films come out within the same week. This one is streaming on Netflix, so it's within the comfort of your home. And like Elio, there's no reason not to see it. And in fact, I really, 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 I encourage you to see both, but I don't know if as many people know about K-pop Demon Hunters, and I really want them to. I really enjoyed it. I think there are good emotions. I think there are also a lot of deeper themes about, again, belonging. There's also a whole storyline about, being mixed and not knowing which side of your kind of culture you fit in on and feeling not like you fit into either, and all this stuff that I think really spoke to me as a mixed person for sure. It's emotional, it's funny, it's fun, and again, the music is spectacular. I was like, I see a sequel on the horizon. The only concern I have about it is, are you going to be able to best the music that is in this one? I think the answer is probably like you can at least maintain. But yeah, K-pop Demon Hunters, what a delight. I'm going to give this 4.4 out of 5.